Okay, so my Screen-O-Matic thing wasn't working, so I'm just going to videotape it on my phone. So this is the Othello analysis. The summary. Othello is one of Shakespeare's famous plays that revolves around jealousy and love and how it can alter and affect others. With the main characters Iago, Othello, and Desdemona, Shakespeare reveals the dangers of jealousy. I used symbolism. So some of the symbols were the handkerchief, the candle, and animals. And these symbols play important parts throughout the play because the handkerchief represents Othello and Desdemona's love, because it was the first token or thing Othello ever gave Desdemona, representing his trust in her. The candle represents Othello taking Desdemona's life at the end when he blows out the candle, and represents Othello ending her life. Also, when Othello walks in the room with the light of the candle, it represents Othello as a good man, although he was deceived. Many characters are compared to animals to reveal their intentions, as Othello is compared to a black Moor, which was referring to him having bad intentions with Desdemona. Next, I used irony. These are some of the quotes that I used, and irony is an important tool used by Shakespeare because he reveals how dishonest and demeaning Iago really is and how Othello is oblivious to Iago's plan. Also, the second quote refers to Cassio being alive, but we know that Iago is going to kill Cassio soon, which reveals the manipulative actions committed by many characters. In the last quote, Amelia doesn't realize that the man deceiving everyone is her own husband, which reveals the dishonesty throughout the play. I also used metaphors. So some of the metaphors used are here shown. And Shakespeare also uses many metaphors to show that Desdemona's reputation was pure, but now it is tarnished. Also to describe Othello's despising thoughts about Iago's manipulation and Desdemona's adultery. The last quote reveals that Othello considers himself a monster because of Desdemona's actions, even though she didn't commit them. I also used allusions. Shakespeare uses allusions to refer to the goddess of chastity to reveal that Othello thinks that Desdemona ruined his reputation because she supposedly was unfaithful. Also to demean Desdemona once again in comparing the opposite of St. Peter to hell, and that is where Desdemona will go after committing infidelity. So some text connections were, so I don't think that I relate to any of the characters in Othello, and the character that is the most opposite of me is Iago. He's manipulative and destructive, and I would not consider myself those qualities. And the Kite Runner and Othello are similar in that both have themes requiring race and warfare. In the Kite Runner, they are divided by religion, the Hazaras and the Pashtuns. And this book is also during a war, which leads to many deaths. Similarly, in Othello, many people judge him because his skin is dark, which makes him an outcast. Because of the differences between the characters, fights break out, leading to the death of several. Also, Othello can relate to Odysseus because they both ended up failing in leadership. In Othello, he fails as a general due to his overcoming jealousy over Desdemona, and in Odysseus, he fails to be a leader by succumbing to the deception of others. Othello can be compared to the current society because of the themes jealousy, betrayal, and complex love. In society today, we see these aspects of life and the decline that these lead to. These connections helped me understand that Shakespeare was revealing that jealousy and betrayal can tear relationships apart, and that no matter the time period, these things will always apply. So some things about the setting. Othello takes place in the city of Venice, a prosperous city. Othello, a black man, stands out in a city of mainly white people. Othello is looked down upon because of his race, and the people of Venice are not used to this change. Venice is located in northeastern Italy in the Veneto region. In the 15th century, Venice stated its decline. It was completely left behind in the race for colonies, resulting in Venice falling behind in power. The play then moves to Cyprus, an island sacred to Venus, the goddess of love. This is kind of ironic because this is where Othello loses faith in his wife, leading to her death. This island is located away from civilization and rationality, and this is where Othello is blinded by jealousy and makes irrational decisions. Cyprus is an island country in the eastern Mediterranean and the third largest island in the Mediterranean. Venice formally annexed the Kingdom of Cyprus in 1489. Throughout the Venetian rule, the Ottoman Empire frequently raided Cyprus. So some of my favorite quotes. How poor are they that have not patience? The rob that smiles steals something from the thief. Reputation is an idol and most false imposition, oft got without merit and lost without deserving. A curse of marriage that we can call these delicate creatures ours, and not their appetites. So these are my favorite quotes because they have a deeper meaning than what first appears. Patience is considered a key to wealth. Rodrigo wasn't patient with Iago, and his impatience causes him to derail. The second quote refers to the victim of theft to smile, meaning that the thief doesn't get as much satisfaction than wanted. The third quote reveals how important reputation is and how Cassio lost his through the actions of others. The last quote reveals that Othello believes that every man will be considered a cuckold, which is a man who's been cheated on by his wife, which explains why Othello believed this lie so easily, which eventually led to his downfall. Some unique discoveries. Othello was set in Venice, which is ironic that Othello, a black Moor, was the main character out of a city with a white majority. Othello's name means wealth, which is ironic because his power and wealth overcame him in the end. The word honesty is used in this play 52 times, which is also ironic because Iago was everything but honest, which led to Othello's downfall, as well as his own. My final analysis. I really enjoyed reading Othello because even though it is an older play, it still relates to society now. Anyone can relate to the themes expressed by Shakespeare because at some point in a person's life, they will experience the struggles of jealousy and betrayal. I am not a fan of plays, so I probably won't read any more of this style, but I did enjoy Othello. Thanks for watching.